So Justin Trudeau just resigned as premier in Canada. And in today's video, I'm gonna analyze from my kitchen, of course, what are the possible economic implications and what is gonna happen with Canada and what are the other elements that is gonna change finally Canada for the good. And I think that's the best thing because as I covered in a previous video, Justin Trudeau was just a bad leader. We know it, you know, any Canadian. And just check the way that he resigns. I intended to resign as a Liberal Party leader, as Prime Minister of Canada after the party selects its next leader. No, he knows he's finished. He knows that Trudeau is not going to get anywhere else. And actually, I covered that in a video that I just did when his finance minister Freeland resigned and all the arguments that she put there. So this is the interesting thing. And if you go to Twitter and just go to Trudeau, you can see what are the reactions of people. Okay. Russell Brown, happy. Nothing has changed. Okay, this is Pierre. Very important. So let's go on what is Pierre saying. I'm literally asking for a burger just to celebrate. So Bolt just told me that the burger is in the way. So yeah. And every Liberal MP and leadership contender supported everything Trudeau did for 9 years. So this is very important. What Pierre is saying is true. It's not like Trudeau just acting alone by himself. No, all the decisions were aligned to the Liberal Party. And he said, now they want to trick voters by swapping in another Liberal face to keep ripping off Canadians for another 4 years, just like Justin. And the only way to fix what Liberals broke is a carbon tax election to elect common sense conservatives who will bring home Canada's promise. And in this case, I agree with Pierre. He should be, and he will become the next premier in Canada. Look, let's just see what other people are saying. Trudeau's papers blown away. If Trudeau prorogues Parliament for more leadership, and then let's check this. This is number one. The Canadian dollar is surging. That's the important. So what is the reaction of the market? That is very important when this sort of events happens, because sometimes we're just thinking about the possibilities, but we don't really think about what are the economical impacts. And that's what I want to discuss. So for example, when you see here this graph, you see how much it just grew just for the news of Trudeau. And why? Because the US-Canada exchange rates has remained in a downward trend. Like, of course, the Canadian dollar was down. But it reminds me, I know you watch the movie Civil War. I like it. And I don't know if you watch one part that they're asking for gas, like they stop in the road to ask for gas. And they say, okay, we want to pay you. And they say, with Canadian dollars. Because, of course, in that scenario, what happens when you have a war? You have hyperinflation. You have a lot of problems, but specifically your currency is not good. In this case, what the market is showing is that it's like, wow, it's good. Let's see what else could happen. Okay. So this is very important. Let's see what other elements are happening. People are happy about Trudeau's resignation. Let's see what other elements are people talking after 9 years. I like that meme. I like memes. Trump won, Trudeau resigned, Keir Starmer got exposed. Nayib Bukele got crowned by 95% in El Salvador. Okay, so before my burger comes, this is very important. I'm happy about the decision. But I'm just tap of Perplexity. And if you haven't used Perplexity, use it. This is an alternative to Google. And I'm using the Pro version. I just ask a question. Okay, what will be the impact? And let's analyze. So number one, Canadian dollar Okay, so it shows immediately. Trade relationships. This is very important because remember that Trump has said, I want to impose a 25% tax on Canada. And when the Minister of Finance Freeland resigned, she said, hey, Mr. Trudeau, I'm resigning because you don't want to get into what is coming. And she said, it is coming a trade war, an economic war, and that is going to happen. So now, depending on who gets elected, the economic war will happen or not. So if it's another liberal, the policies will be the same as Justin Trudeau, and Canadians know how terrible they were. Specifically with that, how do you call that? Like masquerade. No, it was so bad. I'm gonna find it so you. I kind of even describe the cabinet that they had. It was a joke, complete joke. When they did like this meeting, yeah, this one. Oh, this is like the worst one. Let me show you guys. When they have like some communities just going there, and man, it's crazy. But okay, let's go back. So let's focus on the key things. Number one, this is gonna be interesting. So because depending on what Trump does, then he will launch the tariffs or not, depending on who's the leader in the other side. If he's a weak leader, he will launch the tariffs. If he's a strong leader, he will think twice about the tariffs, but then a tariff war will begin because Canada will not be just simple, just waiting for Trump to do stuff. And some people have commented me in some of my videos saying, yeah, but that's the reason, Trump deserves to do this because fentanyl is growing in the US and that's the way to stop it. Well, you will not stop fentanyl because first, fentanyl is illegal, the way that it enters to the Mexican border. And second, that type of fentanyl that is just expanding in the streets because it's illegal, well, even though you increase the tariff, it's illegal. It's a black market. So, yeah. So I didn't get that argument. But this is going to be an interesting thing. I think Pierre is going to be the new prime minister, Conservative Party in Canada. Let me know in your comments below what do you think, guys. What is your opinion on that? Okay, second, high inflation rates affecting consumer spending. So this is crazy. The good thing about Perplexity is that you can ask questions. So for example, tell me about the inflation rates. And then Perplexity knows that I'm talking about Canada in this case. Okay, so that's the cool thing. Like it has a conversation with you, and then this guides this video, for example. Okay, so and I want to show you real data. Look this. So consumer price index, what has happened? The lowest was in 2020, June 2022, and it has gone down. Almost reaching the CPI levels of 2021. Okay, but check this. Rent prices, that's one of the biggest problems of Canada. It's crazy how expensive is rent in Toronto, in Vancouver, and in many cities. 7.7% year over year. Then food inflation, the gas prices, transportation cost. Okay, so even though they say it's 2% throughout 2025, just ask any Canadian how do they feel. And there are terrible stories about people having to work 2-3 jobs just to survive. That's the problem of Canada, and that's one of the main issues that Trudeau created with his policy. So severe housing affordability crisis. Second, what is the budget? Let's see the budget deficit. Okay. And this is very important because at the end, if you enter to a budget, you need loans, and then loans make it harder for a country to recover. And yes, check. Okay. Let's see what it says. 449 billion Canadian dollars. This is the government spending. They said that the largest elements that contributed to the deficit were indigenous contingent liabilities, COVID-19, okay, and new expanding initiatives. At the end, when you see the deficit, okay, it's just going up. Look this, okay. So you have a high deficit, it went down a little bit, and then it just keep going up. So think about Trudeau's, okay? Trudeau is this part. Before Trudeau, after Trudeau. It's it's anyone can understand this. It's very simple. If we do 5 years, just check this. Screw like crazy. If I do the max, that's where, for example, in 2015 it was minus 3.5 in this, what is called the current account balance, and now it's like 0.4 in the current account balance. And then when you go here, the deficit increases a lot. So that's another thing that is going to happen after Trudeau gets out of office. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think? And the poly market, which I love it. I love poly market, one of the best decentralized prediction marketplace and tools. And yeah, there is a 92% chance that Pierre is gonna become the prime minister. Of course, look who's put in there: Chrystia Freeland, the finance minister from Trudeau, who resigned. But yeah, just think about these elements, guys, when analyzing things. What else are we talking about here? Let me show you this graph. Here, let's use Grok. Okay. And let's put Canada rent prices increase 2024. Just to check elements. And let's see what Twitter is saying to us and what we can analyze about that. Look, record high, increasing 10% annually. How much are you paying in Canada? It's crazy. It's like $2,200. And yeah, the British Columbia, highest average asking rents. Ontario, it keeps going up, even Alberta. So yeah, it's crazy. People are working a lot. They don't have access to good housing, and that's terrible. But it's good news that Justin Trudeau has resigned. Yeah, let me know in the comments below what is your opinion about. Thank you for connecting to this live stream. My name is Francisco Cordova. Please subscribe, follow me, and let me know who do you want me to talk about. Thank you. I'm going for my burger, actually. It's coming.